Okay, I'm just going to go over the financial components, more specifically, the Excel part of it. Hopefully you've had a chance and you've done the startup budget, so on and so forth. I know I need to do some work on it, but I wanted to go over the balance sheet and income statement for those people that are ahead or on task. So yeah, so normally you'll have your assets, like I said before. If you're not sure of, what assets should I list or how to categorize them, do a quick Google search of a startup company or companies similar to what you were doing. So yeah, so normally you'll have bank account for sure for all of them. You'll probably have an accounts receivable, but that'll be zero for right now. You might have some sort of inventory. You might have equipment, whether it be short, or you might have supplies. Okay, that might be short term, so on and so forth. So you've got to think about which accounts you're going to use for your assets. Okay, so liabilities, you might have a payable account, you might have a bank loan, you might owe somebody some money. You might want to list them specifically or might stick them in account payable. I'm not sure. And then from that, after you add your assets minus your liabilities, you'll come up with what your capital figure is. Okay. Or you might do it a little bit backwards. You might come up with your capital assets, subtract the two, and then come up with what your total liabilities should be, or maybe you're just financing it, a lot of it through your bank loan. Okay. So the first thing you want to do is, again, this is already done for you, so you don't have to merge and center. So you can just type in the name of your company. So, food truck company. Okay. So that's the name. So what is it? So what is it? So who, that's the who, the what. So this is a balance sheet. Shows us our financial position before we start, and give yourself a date. Now I'm going to give myself a date of don't make any spelling mistakes, February 1st, 2024. Try and think of the day you're going to launch. Okay, so just go with that. Notice how I want to change how it changes the format. You can go to more format options, date, scroll down to this. There we have it. Okay, and I'm just going to underline these here by just clicking on the underline button. Okay, so my current assets, I'm kind of assuming I'm going to have $5,000. I'm going to have food inventory. If you need to add in any categories, you can just right click and then select insert. Okay, and you can either insert above or below if you need to. Okay, so food inventory, like you might have prepaid car insurance. Okay, let's call that 3,000. Okay, so my total assets, you just want to add them up. So again, I just use a sum formula. So equals sum, then I put a bracket. I select all the numbers or all the cells that I want to use and hit enter. Okay. I'm going to dress this up just a little bit. The thick bottom border here. Okay. And 1, 2. Okay, so that's my total current assets. Okay, so I looked up the price of the truck recently. It's 49,700 of the one I want to buy. And I figure I might add $2,000 worth of equipment. Okay, maybe including computer equipment for my business. So I'm not going to use this sum formula here because I'm just adding 2 cells. So again, all formulas, they start with an equal sign, this cell plus the next cell. And I just use my mouse to select the cells I want to. I selected the first cell, then I put the addition button, then I selected the second cell, and then I hit enter. And for my total assets, again, equals this cell plus this cell here. Because there's a calculation, I'll do a thick bottom border. Just do a little bit of editing. Okay, my total assets. I'm going to move this thick bottom border up just a little bit. If you make a border mistake, you just select it and select no border. Let's go back to thick bottom border. And then total assets, you want a double bottom border here. And these are my assets. So just do the best you can. Try and figure out, which assets you need. You might have to make assumptions on how much you're going to get. Try and use the startup budget as much as you can, and that'll help compose some of these numbers as well. Okay, so for liabilities, you might assume that you're going to buy stuff from a company and they're going to give you like 1 to 2 months to pay. Okay, so, and these numbers can vary. Okay, so just put in the numbers, whatever you think is going to happen. Okay, so I'm just going to add my total liabilities here. Okay, now my liabilities have to equal my owner's equity. So you could get creative and say, I'm going to put in 30,000 of my own money, or, and then figure out your bank loan second, or you can figure this out second, whatever you feel like doing. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to assume the 30,000. Actually, no, let's figure out capital last. Okay, so it's probably just the easier thing to do. So for my total capital, again, it's just my total assets minus my liabilities. We'll put in this minus this here. Okay, so that's 39,000. Okay, so again, total liabilities plus my total capital. Okay, and notice how these two numbers, they have to equal. Thick bottom border here, double bottom border here. And this is my balance sheet. Okay, so just try and be as realistic as you can. Is it going to be perfect? No. Just do the best you can with it. And yeah, and that's my balance sheet for my food truck. Okay, so again, depending on your business, you might have a little bit more. You might have different asset accounts. You might have the same ones. Okay, so on and so forth. Your liabilities might be a little bit higher. And your equity might be a little bit lower. So it all depends. So that's your balance sheet. Okay, so, and then we have an income statement again. So I'm just going to put the name of my company. Put a date. Okay, so my date's going to be 1 year after I've run it. Okay, so first 2025. And again, I want to format that. This one right here. Click on OK. Then I'll just underline these. Okay, so revenue again. I'm just going to make this up. Okay, so I'm going to say I'm going to make 100,000 my first year. Pay less returns of 10,000. Okay, so it's just going to be this, take away this is my total revenue. I'm putting in the wrong box. So again, I'll just do it again. My total revenue goes here. It's this minus this. Enter, and then I'm going to put a thick bottom border here. Just do some number formatting. Okay, so that's my total. So cost of goods sold, I'm going to assume that it's 70%. A 0.70, that's 70%. So I'm just going to multiply this by this, which gives me my cost of goods sold, and my gross profit again is just my total revenue minus my cost of goods sold. Okay. Now you might think it's 70%. You might put in an actual number. It's kind of all up to you. Okay, so this is my gross profit here. Okay, and then, you know, I'll have my fixed expenses. Maybe I figure I'm gonna spend 3,500 in gas, maybe 4,000 in propane. Actually, let's make this a little higher. Let's do 7,500. Base salary, I gotta pay myself. A bank loan. For my expenses, let's just assume 10,000. That's just what we paid in interest. So again, I'll sum up all my expenses by using a sum formula equals sum bracket, and then I select the cells, close bracket, hit enter. Or you can just hit enter there. Okay, so, and then here's my net profit or loss. So I'll go equals my gross profit minus my fixed expenses. And notice how I lost money, and I'm gonna format this number as accounting, because in accounting, when you lose money, it puts it in brackets. Okay, so what you might have to go back and do if you're like, ooh, I don't like that number. I don't think the bank's gonna let me borrow money based off this number because I'm losing so much. Okay, so you might have to go back, and because if you program it right with formulas, you can go back and just make little adjustments. Instead of 9,000, maybe I'm only gonna have $5,000 in returns. Okay, so instead of paying myself 35,000, maybe I'll just pay myself 30,000. Okay, maybe propane isn't gonna be that expensive. Maybe it's gonna be closer to 5,500. You just go through and you make adjustments, and this is why I like using Excel. So nothing's set in stone, and you can kind of tweak it a little bit. And maybe my sales is going to be a little bit higher. And you can kind of use sensitivity analysis to try and figure out, okay, I need to sell this much in a year. And you break that down into months and weeks and so on and so forth. And you come up with sales targets, right? So that's how it's done. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video on completing your balance sheet and income statement. It will require a bit of research and, you know, some assumptions in some areas. If you can do that, great. If you're doing it in Word, okay, good luck to you. Just try and come up with reasonable numbers, reasonable figures, and yeah, you should be fine. Hopefully this helps. If you have any more questions, comments, or concerns, let me know. All drop boxes will be closing January 7th for the lesson. For the course, it's going to be maybe a week later, and I'll know closer after the break. Anyway, take care and thanks for stopping by.